A group of 40 children attended a baseball game on a field trip. Each child received either a hot dog or a bag of popcorn. Hot dogs were $2.25 each, and popcorn was $1.75 per bag. If the total bill was $83.50, how many hot dogs were bought? How do I start these? What would I tell you guys to do first? Look for totals. So we've got one total there. But before we start doing anything with those totals, define your variables. Good, I like that. We want to have our variables defined. So they're asking me to find hot dogs. I can see that from the very last sentence. So H would equal, am I looking for the cost of hot dogs? Meaning it's okay to have a decimal, or am I looking for the number of hot dogs? The number. So can I have any decimals here?
No.
When I go somewhere, I want the whole hot dog. I don't want someone else to have already eaten part of it for me. So we're buying whole hot dogs at the baseball game. So no decimals here. But guys, there's two spots for variables. They're only asking me to find hot dogs. What else do I know? The number of popcorns. Even though they're not asking me to find that, we still have to define everything we don't know. So P is equal to the number of popcorn. All right. Now Matt was nice enough to tell us that our total was $83.50. So as we know that that's going to equal, we're going to have an equation that equals $83.50. Well, this is money, correct? So I probably should have some other monies in this equation. So how did they get a total of $83.50?
$2.25 for a bag for hot dogs.
So they took $2.25 times each hot dog, correct? And then what else did they do? Well, did they add or subtract? They added. And what did they add on? $1.75 for each popcorn. Similar to that package problem. The package problems on tonight. I'm giving away problems from tonight somewhere. Calvin. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, it's one total. I need another total because I need to write a second equation. What's the other total? Nathan?
40.
Good job. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't ever tell you that you bought a total of 40 items, did they? But are they expecting you to be able to interpret that from the problem? That if you take 40 kids and each kid gets one thing, that you bought 40 items? So this is your other total. And so that total comes from the number of hot dogs plus the number of popcorns. Number of hot dogs plus number of popcorns equals number of items. It still follows that same pattern of money plus money equals money. Number plus number equals number. Ooh. Need to solve this equation. What do we want to use?
Going with peas.
Oh, getting rid of the p's? I like that for one of two reasons. To get rid of the p's, ladies and gentlemen, in elimination, what would you multiply by?
1.75.
The negative 1.75. It's the smaller of the two numbers. Here's the other thing. What are they asking me to find? Hot dogs. So which variable am I going to have left over if I eliminate the p's? 8. So you'll have done both of those. Now realize, I'm still going to want you to go through and find popcorn so you can check your answer and actually calculate the total bill. But for all intents and purposes, if I keep the h, I've got my answer. So I heard someone say multiply by negative 1.75. This first equation is going to stay the same. 2.25h plus $1.75p is equal to 83.50. I need someone to help me out with my multiplication. I have 1.75h. I can do that. Then minus 1.75p. I need help with the 40 times negative 1.75.
Negative 70.
Negative 70. So even though we're in a word problem, our steps for elimination haven't changed. P's cancel just like we want to. I should have 0.5 or 0.50h is equal to 1350. A lot of decimals, guys. Don't stop just because you have decimals. Finish it out. Solve for h. John Irely, how do I solve this equation for h? Good job. Divide by that 50 cents on each side. And so what does h equal if I take 1350 and divide it by 50 cents? 27. Is that a pretty good looking number if I'm looking for the number of hot dogs? Well, one, it's a whole number, so that's nice, no decimals. It's positive, that's nice. And is it less than 40, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
The conversation in first hour, there was a rather heated debate. One kid got 183. And the kid next to him kind of laughed a little bit because he said, you only have 40 kids. You should know that that's wrong. So you guys get what we mean by talking about the reasonableness of an answer? You have quite a few parameters that it needs to fit into. And positive whole numbers and being less than 40 is one of them. All right, so we have 27 hot dogs. How many popcorns would it be? How would you figure that out? Plug it back in. Which of these two equations would you choose to plug it into? I think the second one. Isn't that one pretty easy? Yeah. You have 27 plus p is equal to 40. So how many popcorns do you have?
13.
13 when you subtract that. So I should have 27 hot dogs. We're labeling those together. And 13 popcorns. And then, like I said, guys, take those and pretend like you're buying them at the concession stand. Take your hot dogs, multiply them by the cost. Take your popcorns, multiply them by their cost. And then see if you equal your total. You guys can use your common sense rather than your equations to check your answers. All right? Any questions? All right. I need you guys, I think you got enough room kind of in the corner and the margins. I want you guys to do something for me. First, I want you to tell me what shape this is. A rectangle, good. First star, I made it look more like a square. I want a rectangle, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to call this 4, and this 6. And what I would like you to do right now, with your seat partner, is I would like you to figure out what is the perimeter of that rectangle. Don't say it out loud. Figure it out with your partner. Just. These rectangle problems are a little bit different because we're actually going to be reading each sentence, and each sentence is going to get turned into an equation. The perimeter of a garden is 76 meters. The length is 8 more than the width. Find the length and width of the garden. So we're going to start this just like we did the other ones. I'm going to define my variables. L is equal to length, and W is equal to width. Now that I have these two variables in place, now that I know what I'm going to use to represent length, and I know what I'm going to use to represent width, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the problem, and I'm going to turn each sentence into an equation. And so it says the perimeter of a garden is 76 meters. The word is a key word in math. What symbol would it be? Equal. So we know the perimeter equals 76. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I just told you how to calculate perimeter, didn't I? What's that formula going to be? 2L plus 2W. Every time you see this word perimeter, you're going to replace it with 2L plus 2W. That's the symbol that perimeter is going to be turned into. It gets turned into an equal sign. Perimeter gets turned into 2L plus 2W. I hit a period, which means that equation is done. There's nothing more. Equation 2 is going to come from sentence 2. The length is, well, what are we representing length with?
Equal.
Well, no. What is length being represented with? L. Is going to be equals. How do I get 8 more than the width? Good job, Jackie. 8 more than is plus. You're not going to have an inequality, ladies and gentlemen. These are all going to be equations. So more than will always be plus. And then the width, as Jackie said, is W. Now, these equations are set up a little bit differently than all of our other ones were. The 5 in your homework last night, and the 3 that we've done in our notes so far. Because these aren't set up for elimination, are they? Our L's aren't lined up, our equal signs aren't lined up, our W's aren't lined up. What method is this set up for? Good job, Macy Neidlinger. Did I say it right? Alright, it's set up for substitution. So that means I'm going to take what L equals, this 8 plus W, and what am I going to do with that? Plug it in for L. Good job. I'm going to keep the 2 in equation 1. But instead of writing L down this time, what am I going to write? Oh, I like it. Who said parentheses? Nice. I still want the plus sign because the only thing I'm getting rid of is the L. So I'm going to put plus 2W equals 76. Cody, what would I do first here? Once I substitute? Distribute. Stephanie, what would I do after that? Good job. We combine those like terms. So 16 plus 4W equals 76. Ashley, what would I do next? Good job. 76 minus 16 is 16. I still have 4W over here. Jamie, what would I do next?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. And what's 60 divided by 4? 15 what? Meters. You're going to make sure we put labels on these. It asked me to find both length and width, so what should we do with W? Plug it back in. Sam, which equation do you think would be best to plug it into? The second one. So I'm going to have L equals 8 plus, and instead of writing W this time, I'm going to put down what we just found, and that's 15. And Ian, what is 8 plus 15? Well, 8 plus 15 is 23 meters. Make sure you got labels on there with your units. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just like with the coin problems, with the dollar bill problems, you can calculate how much money you have. Could you take these dimensions, draw out your rectangle, put 23 for a length, put 15 for a width, and could you calculate perimeter again, just like I had you do on the previous screen? So do you have a way of checking these answers without plugging them back into your equations? Yeah. So use your common sense to check these word problems. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, any questions? Henry.
For like the start from the first equation, how did you get 2 L and 2 W?
Because when we go back and we look at how we calculated the perimeter of this, we did 4 and 4, so that was 2 4s. We did 6 and 6, so that was 2 6s. And so since every rectangle has 2 lengths and 2 widths, it's 2L plus 2W. Okay? All right, anything else, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Your assignment for tonight is a worksheet. We'll get that